It's 6th v 7th at Pittodrie today as Aberdeen look to get back to winning ways as we welcome David Martindale's Livingston. Kick-off at Pittodrie is at 3 o'clock UK time. Here's today's other fixtures in the Premiership. Kilmarnock hosting Motherwell. Ross County are at home to Dundee United. St Johnstone welcome St Mirren. So, in terms of the table, so we're still in the bottom half, but with a win today, coupled with a 3-goal margin, we could climb into the top half of the table. Livingston sit 1 place above us, 3 points better off, and 2 goals better off. European places are still very much in contention. Good morning, how are you doing? A very warm welcome this Saturday morning to Alibeg ABTV. This is the preview show ahead of today's game against Livingston at Pittodrie. Coming up, we're going to be hearing from the interim manager Barry Robson, and we're also going to be gathering the thoughts of midfielder Leighton Clarkson. So that's all to come. So today's show, it's all about you getting in touch and giving me your opinion on what you think will happen today. So the way to do it, if you're watching for the very first time, is get in touch on YouTube and leave your comments in the comment section. Now, what I'm hoping to do here on this channel is, because I've been so encouraged by the amount of people that are watching and leaving comments and interacting, I would like to try and make this channel in particular a place where fans can feel safe to come and leave their comments without fear of retribution. Because, as you know, on other social channels, the place can become a minefield, and there are sites out there that are full of hateful, spiteful people. So I don't want that. I want you guys to feel safe to come and leave your comments without the fear of getting dog's abuse for having an opinion by somebody who hides behind a username and a keyboard. So if you do leave your comments, please make them respectful. Don't use bad language, because that just helps with the YouTube platform for me as well. So get in touch. Would love to hear your comments today. I am going to set up a theme for you to get in touch very shortly. In the meantime, a couple of things to do. I just want to thank Graham Buchan publicly for recently joining the Alibeg ABTV membership scheme. If you want to find out more, go to the homepage. Just to the right hand side, you will see a little button that says join. Just press it and it will tell you all about the benefits of joining Alibeg ABTV and why it helps me massively. Also, a big shout out to our chairman Dave Cormack, who is currently recovering after open heart surgery yesterday, and I'm sure you echo my thoughts when we wish him nothing but a speedy recovery. So get well soon, Dave. Okay, let's kick off. Let's try and predict what we think will be today's team. This is what I think will happen today. I think there'll be some changes on the Celtic game. So I think we'll go possibly with a flat back four. So I think Liam Scales will come back in at left back. I think we'll have the 2 normal centre-backs and Ross to come back in after a suspension to play at right back. And then I think it's just the norm. Hilber in front, Johnny on the left, Graham in the middle, Leighton on the right. Duke just sort of playing in and around our final third, just in and around Bojan Majowski. So that's what I think will happen today. That's the team I think Barry Robson will pick today. If you agree or disagree, get in touch and let me know what you think. Right, so let's get to Barry Robson. So yesterday he gave his press conference, was asked a host of questions, 2 or 3 questions about his own future as potentially the Aberdeen manager, which he answered. But first, he answered a question about the size of today's game. This is what he had to say.
Celtic's a huge game. St Mirren's a huge game. Motherwell's a huge game. So that's what Aberdeen Football Club, that's what a football manager, an interim manager, a coach, a player, whatever you are, it's always a huge game. So we know that and we accept that. And all we need to do is try and prepare as well as we can, which we have done, and try and get a result. And what I've said to the players is, when you play for a club like Aberdeen, you're expected to win. So they know that, and I know that, and we all know that. But for me, the big thing is a performance. If you perform well, if we put a good performance on, majority of the time that takes you to the end result that you want. I think we'll probably sit down after the weekend, and then we'll have a conversation, and then I'll probably have a conversation with you guys again. So I need to see where we're at. I know it's all cliche and you're all sick of listening to it, and I'm sick of saying it. Yeah, we're trying to concentrate on the game at the weekend, but we are. We genuinely are. We're putting loads of work into try and get the players to adapt to our type of training, and trying to get put the right ideas in place for them to try and be a success against Livy at the weekend.
So here are your match stats ahead of today's game. So Livingston have won 3 of their last 4 league matches against Aberdeen, which is as many as their previous 20 meetings beforehand. Aberdeen have lost 4 of their last 5 league games, conceding 19 goals in the process. That's an average of 3.8 goals per game. The Dons, this is quite interesting, have made fewer changes to their starting lineup than any other club in the Scottish Premiership. Only 33. Today's referee is David Monroe. In charge of VAR is Don Robertson. So we know what we're going to get from Livingston today. We know they're going to be dogged. We know they're going to sit in, and they know they're going to put men behind the ball, which is going to make it very difficult for us in the final third. So it is up to us, as I normally say, to be able to break them down in the final third. So what I'm hoping today is that we get early balls into the box, because I think we have been guilty of not doing that recently. Just chuck the ball in and see what happens, and make their centre halves know that they're in a game straight from the off. So this is a theme that I'd like to set up today. So I've been thinking about everything. So we've got 7 games left now till the split. So obviously Livingston today. Then we go to Dundee United, at home to Hearts, away to St Johnstone, at home to Kilmarnock, away to Ross County, and then we finish our final game before the split at home to Rangers. So this is what I think. I think we now basically have a 7-game season. I think what's happened has gone. The Celtic game has gone, it's out the road, and everything now that has happened in the previous few months should just go. Just let it go. Don't forget about it, because it'll linger, but it's gone. So I think start from today, because the games that we've got coming up are all winnable games. And this is where I think the team will now be judged between now and the end of the split, because there is still, as I said at the top of the show, huge, we've got something to play for. We can get into Europe, we can make those European places, but it's the teams that we're now going to be playing in the next 7 games that we will be judged on. So tell me what you think. Let's open it to the floor. Let's see how you're all doing this morning. Right, here we go. Fantastic to see so many of you on this Saturday morning. Hope you're all well. Okay, so Barry McNeil has come on and said, all or nothing mentality today. 3 points, please. Jim Fowler has said, hopefully get a manager in soon, as he's going to need time to assess the squad and pick out new players for the summer window and who's going. Ewan Grant, hi Ewan, he said, good morning to everybody. After all that has happened, we're still well in the hunt for Europe. A result today could light a fire beneath the club to go on a good run of results. Shades of a 6-pointer, this one. I tend to agree. Graham Watt, good morning Graham. He has said good morning to everybody. He's feeling confident today. He predicts a 3-1 wins for the Dons. Gregor Stevens has come on and said good morning to everybody. Good morning, Paul Donaldson. Arrived in the northeast last night, going to the match in the beach ballroom before. Today surely a must-win, being at home. Ali Lowe has said good day from Brisbane. Very good day to you as well, Ali. Enjoy the rest of your day. Rob Clark, good morning, Rob. How are you doing? Can I please ask if there is any overnight news on how Dave Cormack's op went? So from what we understand, it went well. The club put out a tweet today to say that he's now recovering in ICU, I think is what they call it, and he's doing absolutely fine. Thanks, Rob. Ali's gone on to say, would like to see us go 4-2-3-1 or the good old-fashioned 4-4-2 today. Scott W. Good morning, Scott. I can see a fairly comfortable 3-0 win for us today. Gregor Stevens. No Celtic or Rangers fans on here. David Scott, hoping for Frank McDougall-inspired win from the guys today. So Frank today is basically being presented with what is his Hall of Fame, what can you call it? A trophy, an accolade, something like that. So he's going to come on the pitch today. I'm not sure when he's coming on the pitch, either before or at half time. So he travelled up yesterday by train, and he was in Aberdeen last night, and he's going to be at the game today. So let's hope he gets a rousing reception, which I'm sure he is. Liam Scales is still out today. Yes. Liam Scales is still out today. Okay, so if Liam Scales is out today, I think Hayden Coulson will play at left back today. So that's what I think. So Hayden Coulson, Matty, Angus, Ross McCrory. That'll be the flat back four. Johnny will play just in front. That's what I think. Okay. Paul Donaldson has said, good to hear it went well for Dave yesterday. Speedy recovery. Erica Mitchell has said, good morning. Hopefully 3 points from today's game. Lee Doubles. Hi Lee, how are you? Hoping for a convincing victory today. Livingston is never an easy game, but we have to believe. Come on you Reds. Gregor Stevens has said, Alan Burrows has done an interview with the PLZ soccer guys on YouTube. It's out tomorrow. Well worth a listen. Yeah, I'm going to look forward to that. Paul Donaldson has said, last time we played Livy at home, I was only expecting a 1-0 or 2-0 win, and we won 5-0. So I'm expecting 1-0 or 2-0 again today. Don't forget, they went down to 10 men, didn't they, in the last game? Graham Watt has said, really do think we will pick up the points today. 3-1 to the Dons, I think. Livy will have a go at us today, and it will work in our favour. Graham Duncan has said, looks easy on paper. Scott W. We've got a great chance to go on a little run until the break. Pick up the majority of points and we'll be in the mix for third. I agree. I completely agree. Jason Campbell. Do these loan players care if we get into Europe though? I'm guessing not. That's a very interesting thought. I think they will, because to go back to their parent clubs, they will want to leave having made an impression, because let's not forget that there will be some sort of report written about them during their loan spell when they go back to their parent club. And obviously they want that to be very favourable. And if Aberdeen get into Europe, or if we get into those European places come the end of the season, then that can only work in their favour when these reports are written. Because at the end of the day, whenever these players go back to their parent club, they want to kick on. They'll want to fight for the first team place at their parent club and kick on from there. So I think they will care if Aberdeen get into Europe or not. Derek Griffiths has said, good morning, Ali. Hope the Dons get 3 points for Dave Cormack today. Mark Munn has said, Aberdeen must win. Defeat unacceptable. I agree. Scott Farquhar has said, good morning to everybody. All games winnable. However, away form still the major issue. Although Europe is in sight, yes, however, we still have to be very, very wary of the teams below us. Yeah, I agree. Fraser Gunn has said he's on the bus heading to Pittodrie. Have a great trip up the road and a safe trip, Fraser. Phil McLean, Battle of the Shinnies. Jim Fowler, do you think Alfie Bavidge should get game time? Yes, I do. So Alfie scored a hat-trick the other day. And I think it was a 20-minute hat-trick. I skipped past the match report. I just saw that he got a hat-trick. Now, I've been saying this all along, and I don't think I'm the only one expressing this opinion. I think for the youngsters to progress, at some stage you have to chuck them in, because the only way that they can improve as players and mature as people is that they have to be put into that environment. So, first and foremost, they have to train with the first team and see how they're judged in training. Because obviously, if they don't do well in training, or if they're not up for it in training, then they're not going to make the squad. It's as simple as that. So first and foremost, the first impressions will be what they do and how they handle training. From there, do they then get shifted into the first team dressing room? Probably not. I would think that if they're going to make the first team squad, it will be at the beginning of a new season. But I can't help but think that we have to chuck these players in to see how they handle the situation. And Alfie is a natural goal scorer. He's been scoring goals for fun for the youth team, the academy side, whatever you want to call them. And don't forget, he scored goals for Scotland at the youth level as well. So He's had game time already. He's made his debut for Aberdeen, came on as a substitute. He had a few minutes. But I think you've got to chuck them in to see what they're like. Otherwise, these kids are never going to progress. Right. Talking about players that are on loan, Leighton Clarkson will probably be heading back to Liverpool come the end of the season. So he also spoke in the press conference yesterday about the morale within the dressing room, about big games, Aberdeen's form and all that sort of stuff. So this is what he had to say yesterday when he spoke to the gathered media.
As I've said before on lots of occasions, that every game is a tough game. We know the threats that Livingston possess. But we all know that we need to win the game, put on a good performance and get back to winning ways. We go to win every game. Obviously before the World Cup we were in a great position, and after that we've slipped off a little bit. But we do try and win every game. And we definitely want to win this game. We know it's at home. And the fans will be right behind us. So yeah, I'm just hoping to take all 3 points. As of today, everyone in the camp's really happy. Obviously, there's been Baz has come in and tried to give us a few ideas on how he wants to play and stuff like this, and everyone's buying into that. We'll try and work for him, not only for him but obviously for the club as well, and try and get into that top 6. And once we're in there, obviously anything can happen.
So that's what Leighton Clarkson had to say. I'm expecting him to start today. Let's get back to your chat. Let's see what you've got to say. Bear with me. Okay, so Paul Donaldson said about Frank McDougall, I saw the club post that Frank will be on the pitch at half-time and the under-10 teams will do a lap of honour with the trophy that they won during the week. They'll also come on at half-time. Great to see. Graham Watt has said, good morning, Graham. It's teams in and around us, the next 7 games. If these players want to stay here at the end of the season, they need to show us in the last part of the season. I agree. Scott Robertson has said, we need to be right up for it today because Livy are a far better footballing side than a lot of people give them credit for. They were the better team until they went down to 10 men in the 5-0 game. It's a very good argument. Graham Duncan, they will care to get the results on loan, but chance an injury near the end of a loan is always a thing. Good point. Scott W. has agreed about what I say about the loanees. The loanees will want to go back to their parent clubs on a high. I think it's disrespectful to them to suggest that they won't care. Andy Saws, hi Andy. With the way Aberdeen have been playing, finishing in the top 6 is the priority. I wouldn't be worrying about trying to finish in a European place. It's an interesting point. Get top 6 first and foremost. Get ourselves into the top half of the table and then kick on from there. Good point. Dave Sharp, agree completely, RE integrating youth. I've always hated clubs who use the threat of training with the youth teams as a form of punishment. It's disrespectful. I completely agree. Kevin Craighead has said, we need to start the match strong and fast. If they manage to start better and sneak a goal, we could be in trouble. Can't be bothered has said, would like to see Ryan Duncan get more time on the pitch. He was the only player that tried against Darvel. Laura McLean, hi Laura, how are you? Good morning to everybody. Definitely a big win is needed today. So, just a couple of little bits and pieces. If you are watching for the very first time, I'd be absolutely thrilled if you wouldn't mind subscribing and joining us and following us here on the channel. We are ever slowly getting closer to 2,500, and then from there we can kick on to 3,000 followers. Thank you for your continued support. As you know, I love my history. So on this day, on the 25th of February, in the football club's history, back in 1922, Pittodrie Stadium recorded its highest ever attendance when 26,577 fans watched Aberdeen beat Dundee 3-0. Some reports suggested the attendance was as high as 32,000. And a year ago today, Aberdeen Football Club unveiled the magnificent statue of our greatest ever manager, Sir Alex Ferguson. If you are not going to the game today and you're out and about, then why not join us or consider joining us on North Sound 1 for the big Saturday football show between 2 and 6. It will be myself, Stevie Cowan, and Ewan Cameron in the studio. And what I do is basically sit at home or here in my studio in Germany, Austria, and I watch the game live and then I report back as things happen. So you will get right up to speed updates from what's happening during today's game. Okay, back to your points. Dave Sharp has said, this squad isn't ready to compete in Europe. Dave, it's a very good point. And also, what we have to think about is that in the summer, potentially, we could lose 6 or 7 of these loan players who will go back to their parent club. So we could be left in a situation where, once again, we have a brand new team come the start of the new season in the summer. Graham Duncan has said, wondered why you kept saying can't be bothered in the chat. And can't be bothered responded with a bit of a smiley emoji. Absolutely brilliant. Right, guys, we are all done. We're just done 20 minutes or so. So thank you so much for jumping on today. Hope you've enjoyed the preview show. And we will be back tomorrow night for the review show at 7 o'clock, again, where you guys can get in touch and tell us what you think about today's game at Livingston. So all that's left to say is the very best of luck to the lads today. Let's put in a good performance. Let's get back to winning ways. Let's try and get into the top half of the table. The incentive is there to do it. If you're heading to Pittodrie, have a safe journey. If you're not, have a fantastic day. And I'll see you tomorrow night. Take care. Bye for now.